A lot has been discussed regarding artificial intelligence and the concerns and the issues it will have. Now, others say how great, amazing, and wonderful it is. So, for instance, Tyler Perry was embarking on an $800 million project on his studio campus in Atlanta area. But then when he started seeing artificial intelligence, he actually put a major halt to it, saying he may not even have to physically build sets because of AI. So people are looking at artificial intelligence and say it can be, a lot of things can be done that's great and wonderful, but there also are issues. The music industry is one that is keeping a close eye on how AI may become a major threat to artists. Joining us right now is Isaac Hayes III, the managing manager. He's the founder of Fanbase, also the son of course, legendary singer Isaac Hayes. And Isaac, you dropped a video the other day that blew folks away, and it was just something just rudimentary regarding artificial intelligence. Explain.
I made a video prompt. I wanted to make a song about use artificial intelligence platform called Udio to make a song about Call of Duty and rap music, right? It's silly. And it actually gave the prompt. I actually gave it just kind of like vague prompts. And it gave me a song that sounded like Jeezy's voice. Like young Jeezy's voice came back out of this prompt, and I didn't give it anything about Jeezy. I just said I want trap, Atlanta, Call of Duty, booty, threw that in there, and it made a whole song with hooks and verses and all that kind of stuff. It was really eye-opening of what artificial intelligence can do with regard to music. So it was crazy.
And in your conversation with Jermaine, I'm sorry, no, it wasn't your conversation with Jermaine Dupri, but it was before that Jermaine Dupri actually dropped a video where he went off on these apps. Others. He said, wait a minute. He said, basically what he was saying is, okay, it takes talent to be a music producer. He said, but this whole idea that, oh no, you can be a music producer at home and you could just, boom, press a couple of buttons and presto, you got a hit song. He was not happy about that.
Nah, Jermaine was, and I understand why, because time, effort, and energy and the talent that someone like Jermaine has amassed over his, 30-year music career, 30-plus music career is something to be respected and valued. And the fact that these AI models are being trained on copywritten music and artists and songs is the problem, because then it's not making anything original. It's taking already, created content and creating this new content. So who owns that content? Who has the rights to that? And so I think it causes a significant issue when it comes to the rights of artists, right? Name, image, and likeness, things like that. So a voice, like someone like Jeezy, and I got a little pushback from saying that I feel like artists should start to find ways to trademark their voice. It's not very common that you can trademark a voice, but if you can attach your voice to a specific product or a specific industry, then you can trademark to protect your voice. And I think artists like musicians, singers, rappers should definitely be able to do that, because these programs, these AI generated music generators are making songs that sound like Ronald Isley, that sound like Kanye, that sound like Jeezy, that sound like all these different people. And that's very, very scary. And so it's going to be a battle. I expect the music industry to come vehemently at, platforms like Udio and some of these other song AI generating music platforms, for real.
But you also have said that, frankly, anybody in the public space, yours, including me, must be looking at trademarking our voice, our face, our likeness, because it can be used with artificial intelligence in a way that we don't permit.
Yeah, it's important. I mean, you can fabricate, your likeness now. I mean, Roland, right now, there's platforms where you can actually clone your voice. You can take your voice, clone it, use it. You can actually clone yourself as an avatar. And, a good percentage of people probably wouldn't even know it's you. And so people being able to do that and fabricate your likeness and then say things and then create content and have you say things that you never said and offend people or make people react in a way that isn't authentic to who you are and what you do is very, very dangerous. That's the dangerous side of AI. And I say that that's very, very important. I think there's a beautiful and positive side to AI, especially with music, because I think even when I've heard some of the artists that have passed on and AI try to recreate and generate music based off that. We saw Drake do that over the past week with the AI track where he actually rapped as Tupac, then he rapped as Snoop Dogg, and then himself. And people were really stunned and amazed that it sounded exactly like Pac and sounded exactly like Snoop. And so for people that are no longer with us and those estates and those families want to continue for their legacy to live on and be able to create music and do things or remix music, or even artists that have lost their voice, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think it's Freeway or Siegel that's kind of lost their voice, the DLC. They could come back and make records now, cloning their voice and make music using AI, because, you know, they can take the vocals that they originally had before DLC got his accident, and now he can make rap albums again. So that's the good side about AI. But people are always going to use artificial intelligence in a negative way, as well as a positive way. And so we have to have that balance in between.
Questions from our panel. First up, let's see, who's probably well-versed on AI? I'm sure Robert probably has his own AI game featuring guns and stuff along those lines. So, Robert, you go first.
Oh, you're not far off. But on that point about AI, how exactly do we keep legislative policy up to date on what's going on with technology? We're now, as you were mentioning, you can do deep fakes now, where they can take literally anybody's face and put it on live moving video, mouth moving also, and say lines and read any script that they. How we can also now do entire movie performances. We saw Samuel Jackson be deep faked and de-aged in the Marvels by 30 years, to the point now you don't even need the actor to be on set anymore. I believe Star Wars bought James Earl Jones' voice, so even after James Earl Jones is dead, he will still be the voice of Darth Vader, which is creepy. Carrie Fisher is still appearing in Star Wars movies, even though she's been dead for years. How exactly do we regulate these things? Because right now it seems that it is very much individuals have control of their name, image, and likeness. But it seems in the future, people will just be able to run off and just reproduce this entire show on a computer and not accredit it to any of us.
I mean, I think that's going to happen. Some form of piracy is always going to happen, right? But it's when that piracy is monetized, right? When someone tries to make a movie and sell it. I think people try to take people's copyright. People try to, you know, burn DVDs of movies that are already out, and that's a form of piracy. And so AI digital piracy is going to be something that exists. So I think, number one, I mean, there's ways to tell, and actually they're working on programs to tell if something is AI generated or not. So there's always a way to be able to tell if something is artificial or something is not artificial. So that's first and foremost, is making sure that we have the technology to decipher between what's real and what isn't. Because as we move further along in the next few years, you'll be able to recreate images and photos. I've been on Midjourney 6. I've been on Udio with music. You'll be able to render photos of yourself and songs of yourself. And it's really cool. I mean, those are the cool things to do. So I think every individual human being is going to have to find a way to trademark their name, image, likeness, and have this, unique identity, this fingerprint, this voice fingerprint that is yours, this vocal print that is yours. So then if someone is trying to make a song out of your voice, or someone is trying to deep fake you into a piece of content, that they can, you can be notified that someone's using your voice illegally, have that voice pulled down, XYZ, and move on and so forth. So policy is definitely going to start on Capitol Hill, and they need to get on it sooner than later, because AI is moving way faster than the government.
Absolutely. Suzette?
Yeah, I think to answer Robert's question, I was looking at as research for this particular discussion that there are bills that are being discussed with regards to having these Udio and other platforms have to disclose what they use as original source material in creating that new sound. So we know AI, again, is based off of all the things that have ever been written and sung in this case. So it came from somewhere. It started with somebody's intellectual property, not only voice, but perhaps even flow, or perhaps even melodies, et cetera, et cetera. So there are bills that I was just reading about it today that are being offered to make these companies disclose. I want to ask, thank you for being here, Mr. Fanbase, about the music industry's response. Has there been a coalescing, or any type of mass movement where, like in the case of maybe if people remember Napster, that, was basically sued out of existence. Are you hearing or you seeing anybody come together, coalescing around demands when it comes to companies that are basically, as you stated, pirating other people's information and thoughts and intellectual property? And I know there's maybe some fair use arguments, but again, they're monetizing it. This is not for educational purposes. This is not just snippets. This is literally voice patterns, just like someone who already exists. Have you heard about any lawsuits or any other significant means of this industry starting the discussions about how they're going to combat this so that their intellectual property is just not exploited without any type of recompense or recourse?
Yes, absolutely. Those conversations are happening now. There's stories being written. There's conversations behind closed doors that are happening. Because again, one thing the music industry is going to do is protect those publishing and those masters. That is the core. That is the income.
That's the muley.
What you say?
That's the muley.
Yeah, the money. The money is in that publishing and those masters. And so when someone tries to step on that and come in and encroach upon, these publishing companies and their IP, they're gonna shut it down. So again, I don't know how Udio is going to make it out of this. You know what I'm saying? It's a great tool. Again, it's fun to use. If you want a cute song to impress your girlfriend, go right ahead. Write a love song about her. Comes out perfect. I think that's really cool. But it's the fact that if it comes out sounding like Sam Cooke, is the estate of Sam Cooke going to get paid to do that? And that's the problem that I think they're having. So those conversations are absolutely being had, though. I already, people have been calling me like, yeah, they already looking at them. So get ready for that.
Rebecca?
So Drake using Tupac's voice and rapping using Tupac's voice, I personally thought it was corny. However, Drake is one of the most profitable artists in the world right now, right? He's making a lot of money for a lot of people in the music industry. And so that leads me to think that the music industry wants music and the music industry to go in this particular direction with the use of AI. So my question for you is this ultimately good for the individual artist if there's incorporation of AI into the music industry, or is this more where it's just it's a next level for the music industry to continue to profit?
Well, when you ask that question, I can't think just about the artist. I have to think about the songwriter, the producer, the engineer, the mastering engineer. Those are jobs that are in jeopardy for things like that, because these programs are making the tracks. They're playing instruments. They're doing drum programming and drum patterns, and these are all jobs in arts and skills that other people have been doing and getting paid handsomely for since the beginning of the music industry. So now if artificial intelligence is going around creating tracks that are not copywritten material or based off copywritten material or source material, it becomes very, very slope. And so I think there's really good uses for AI. I think you can do some creative things. I thought what Drake did was creative. I don't know if West Coast fans might have appreciated it, or Kendrick Lamar fans might have appreciated it, but I thought it was pretty savvy for him to rap as Tupac and as Snoop Dogg, asking Kendrick to hurry up and respond to his diss record. And that was a cool use of AI and the ability to do that. But you actually see these labels laying off a lot of people. So they're laying off a lot of internal staff. But now when you think about laying off or not working with songwriters and producers anymore because AI can generate tracks, and then now you can fabricate artists and sell music. I think there's ways to use AI a positive way. And I say this with every functionality that's ever created in tech. You have to take it to hell before you take it to heaven. And all that means is you got to figure out the worst thing that someone can do with it before you figure out the really cool, fun things you can do. And so I think with the music industry, they're definitely going to figure out what nefarious things that can be done to cost them money, that cost the music industry money or the artists money to do that. But again, I think this is also going to focus more on, and I say this with AI, is that IRL content, in real life content, is going to matter more and more moving forward. So the show is going to matter. Seeing Drake, Kendrick, Beyonce live in concert is going to matter more than sometimes the music that they create. If AI, the trend of AI continues to grow and these programs take over music, then the live performance aspect is going to be a lot more valuable to the artists themselves.
All right, then. Isaac, give us an update on the crowdfunding raise for Fanbase.
Oh, goodness. We just passed $1 million raised for our round on StartEngine. I'm asking everybody who wants to invest, who's watching right now, go to StartEngine.com, Fanbase to invest, have equity in Fanbase. The minimum to invest is $399. You get equity in this company. We're raising $17 million, but our first milestone was $1 million. Our next is $2.5 million, which we want to reach. And so with that, we always announce things that we can do. So just passing this first $1 million, we're about to add RTMP streaming for video games, live streaming events, stuff like that to Fanbase. So that is coming. And so the more capital we raise, the more we're able to execute and build upon that. So just like you see on my shirt, if you can't see sometimes, go to StartEngine.com/Fanbase to invest and get some equity Fanbase. Again, TikTok might be going away. It's good to have equity in a company that might be the successor to TikTok if TikTok leaves, and be able to have equity in that, because you can't have equity in TikTok. So again, I tell people, better safe than sorry to grab some shares, move your content over to Fanbase, and join the community as we continue to scale. And
so you said by getting RTMP, so that's the key. So let's say if we wanted to actually stream our show on Fanbase, we'll be able to do that once you have RTMP and the stream key.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll be able to do that. Roland, I thought I was going to hear your song. I sent you a song. Did they ever send you the song that I sent you?
No.
Did you ever hear the song? Oh, man. Man, she could play. It was AI generated. I made a Roland Martin.
Hold on, Carol, you have it?
Oh, yeah.
Dude, she didn't tell me about the song.
Oh, listen, you got to listen to
You didn't even tell me. First of all, she said it's in the script. Well, first of all, I'm already at the damn questions, so I'm going to get to that part of the script. Anyway, all right, so Isaac, all right, go ahead and play this AI-generated song. See, Carol, you should have told me at the top. Go. So just straight created by AI. That's not no real people there.
No real people there. I made that in 30 seconds, Roland. Like, it was that fast to make that.
Wow, that's crazy. All right, Carol, play the second one that's also not in the script. Y'all playing script at one time?
It's the Roland Martin Show. Are you ready? Let's go. It's the Roland Martin Show.
Z. Again, folk better understand what it's gonna do. It is, you right. Government they're going to move real fast. Because AI is moving real quick. Go ahead.
I did those in 30. I did both of those songs in like less than a minute. It took less than 2 minutes to make those songs. I said, give me a Roland Martin theme song, make it like 70s funk soul or smooth R&B, and then it just made it. I didn't pick the voices. It just, the first one sounded like In Vogue. I thought it was In Vogue singing the Roland Martin show. So that's the thing about it. It's crazy what you can do. So AI is coming, but yeah, they're going to have to move on this really, really fast.
Yeah, and In Vogue actually sings the real theme song to Roland Martin Unfiltered. That's Cindy Heron and Terry Ellis. Yeah.
Dope.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
so our actual theme song, they actually did that and gifted to me. So it was actually, they cut that because I had solicited some folks to do the theme song for TV One's News One Now. And then they were like, well, that sounds dated. So what they do, they went with some old boring ass canned news. I was like, y'all went with some canned shit and we could have had In Vogue as a theme song. I think the In Vogue version is a hell of a lot better than that canned crap we had with News One Now TV One. But that's neither here nor there. It's now the theme song of Roland Martin Unfiltered. Isaac, I appreciate it, man. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, man.
Fanbase is pioneering a new era of social media for the creator economy. This next generation social media app with over 600,000 users is raising $17 million, and now is your chance to invest. For details on how to invest, visit startengine.com/fanbase or scan the QR code. Another way we're giving you the freedom to be you without limits.